What's up, children of the sun? My name is Montre Bible. Yep, that's my real last name. And today I'll be doing a reaction video to Alien Hybrid. Is your Rh negative blood a sign? Which is really interesting because I'm actually O negative. And that makes me a universal donor, which means I can give blood to anybody, but I can't get blood from anybody. It has to be my own type, which is really weird, right? So I can donate blood, but if I'm going to get blood, if I get blood from anybody else, I guess it'll kill me or something. So yeah, it's really weird. Um, and my sister's Rh negative as well. She's not O negative, but she's got negative blood too, which is like it's supposed to be a really rare occurrence. I think they say like less than 8% of the population has negative blood, but I'm always meeting people with negative blood, so maybe we attract each other. But anyways, that's neither here or there. Let's go into the video and see what he's talking about.
You could be or have some type of alien bloodline.
Are you saying that my blood is no good?
Supposedly, it's called the Royal Bloodline.
Most unusual blood type.
There's a lot of people that are watching this right now, Rh negative blood. This is something that a lot of people don't know much about, and there's a lot of people who have Rh negative blood.
That's me.
Supposedly, it's called the Royal Bloodline, and this is where there's supposed to be a lineage.
I'm gonna start
we're gonna go
waving
over
like
some
this.
of that a little bit tonight, and people that you know, famous people, celebrities, white and black, that are connected.
Barack Obama got O negative.
To this particular
Maybe
bloodline.
maybe I should.
Now, scientists have always said they didn't know the origin of the bloodline, and so therefore, hence, it's been tossed in term with a verbiage of extraterrestrial. And that is something that other people may say, rather not, but they still couldn't figure it out. But over time, they began to see there was a alien connection, and there was a possible alien connection.
The Anunnaki.
There's a lot of people that are watching this right now. You could be or have some type of alien bloodline. Now, am I making this up? Heck no, I'm not making this up. In fact, I remember my first two children when they were born to their mother. And this is when I was in my 20s, long time ago. Long time ago. But you can figure it out. And I remember her having to needing a shot to protect my babies, my daughters, both of them. And I didn't even know and had a clue what it was.
She's Rh negative.
I didn't even think about my children's mother.
Yeah, if a woman is Rh negative, if she has birth, if her children, if the embryo is not negative, she will reject the baby. So Rh negative women cannot have normal childbirth. Well, they can, but if the child doesn't have negative blood, they will abort the baby like naturally. What species do you know that does that? Her body will reject the baby. It will see it as foreign. And it'll be like, yeah, get out of here. So Rh negative women only can really naturally give birth to Rh negative children. If they have a positive child, they will abort them automatically. So they have to take a shot. Excuse me. They have to take a shot that will allow them to not create those antibodies to keep them from rejecting the baby. So it's a lot that Rh negative women have to go through. So it makes me wonder, like, what are these little natural things that Rh negative people, our bodies do that other people don't? Like, what do the men do? But they say like we have like psychic stuff. Here I am reading tarot.
Other having whatever type of blood type, period. And it wasn't until maybe several months ago when my youngest of the two was rushed to the hospital and she needed an emergency surgery. And then when the doctor came in after the surgery, and thank God that she, came out of it okay. It was a scary moment. But the doctor turned around and said something about her blood type, which I already knew was a descendant of something. And I turned to her mother, and her mother goes, yeah, you remember I had to have a shot? I'm Rh negative. And I was like, my Scooby-Doo. I was like, Roo. And that's when I realized I've been so close to this all along, all my life, even when I saw the UFO at 12 years old, becoming a UFO investigator, been part of this.
Mm. I'm intrigued. Hey, if you guys are RH negative, put it in the comments below. Um, and if you've had any weird things happen to you and as a child, paranormal events, stuff like that. Do you have a gift? Um, Curious. Let me know. What is that? Is that supposed to be a blood cell or a virus? The stock photography. Where did he get this graphic from? Awakening. What's your blood type? You may not believe it. Man, they making videos like TV shows now, man. I need to up my
But the
game.
fact that I know the mother needed a shot tells me enough that I'm close enough and I know that I'm in the right
What?
place at the right
Go
time.
check this
So
guy's
that
video.
being said, we're going to get right into this tonight. We're going to first go into, even when we begin now, we're going to talk about maybe you could be descendants from aliens.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, what?
Talk about maybe you could be descendants from aliens. And we'll go into RH negative characteristics. We're going to reveal
The
some of those.
Anunnaki.
We're going to talk about the DNA results of elongated skulls back in today, how they tie into
I got a
RH
big head.
negative.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Everybody's all
The
talking about big
reason
old
why
head.
RH negative people are being tracked, okay, how scientists could use the DNA, sequencing all the way back to alien life, and we'll go into how you can recognize a characteristics. I did this before. I was on Clubhouse and we had all these people calling in about RH negative. And unbeknownst to me, I decided to say, you know what? Change everybody put up your profile pictures. And we started looking at out of 15 people that was on that stage, there was about 9 or maybe 10 that all had similar characteristics and they didn't even know each other. And they was from all over a whole different vast of United States.
Some strange shit.
So we're not going to play around with this thing. As I read some of this, it goes into humans carry a blood type and more likely be descendants of aliens. Researchers, they talk about this all the time. And one in particular was saying that if you start thinking about genetics and how that works, that we can only inherit what our ancestors had, except for if it was like a case of mutation. Basically, what they're saying is that we are what we are. And if you have it, it's descendants. Now, I know first thing we're
Well,
going to think
duh.
of is our literally our parents, the parents that we see, the parents that are in our faces every day. And they're not alien, Roderick. They don't even look like aliens. Well, if you start really thinking about all the videos and what you're going to be finding here and the information here with genetic tampering
What's the alien
and
look
how
like?
we anything's possible. Absolutely anything's possible. Make no mistake about it. Now, therefore, I'm going to knock this in the head right now. If man and ape, remember, we supposedly had evolved from apes. And if they
That's
were
a
our
theory.
common ancestor, then their blood would have evolved the same way. And I say this all the time. So if you think that we came from apes, why haven't the apes that's walking around now evolved? Why did they stay the same? Otherwise, they would have evolved, right? There will be
Mankind was engineered. We didn't evolve. We were engineered. Created is a very loose term. I totally believe the Anunnaki, some alien beings, engineered mankind for Earth.
running around driving cars like the Planet of the Apes. They tried to do that in the movies. And if we have all evolved from the same ancestor, we all would have the same blood. That kills the Adam and Eve theory. If we all came from the original pair, Adam and Eve, then we all
Have the same
will
blood type,
have the same blood as Adam and Eve,
right?
right?
Hell no.
We wouldn't have all of these different blood types.
But that's not where mankind starts. Well, kinda. We have Adam and Eve. That was like the first stage. Then there's Noah. Remember, mankind got wiped out. Second phase is Noah, and Noah was a hybrid. If you read the book of Enoch, Noah didn't look like a normal person. You got to read the whole book of Enoch and check that out. And then there's I think there's another. Well, if you look at the story of Atrahasis, what is it? It's another Noah flood story, and I think it's from. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of that Epic of Gilgamesh or something like that. Flood story. One of these stories, uh, Atrahasis or Zisudra, whoever the Noah, he's actually the child of one of the elder gods. Like, but it's a secret. No one told. And so he's a hybrid. But in the book of Enoch, it says that he looked like an angel. Like his skin was white as snow. Like the angels are like super, super white, like albino white. Not like white people. White people are peach. Peach. White people are peach. But these is like white as snow albinos. And I've talked about this before, but that's where everybody comes from. And he had three sons and three daughters, supposedly. Well, not three daughters, but daughter-in-laws. And so with that, you have different bloodlines in there. And plus the Nephilim and the angels were around then too. So people were mixing and mingling. So who had pure blood by that time?
We got all these different blood types, plain and simple. And how do we know? If you are in question with, is that your baby? They got shows on this now,
Yeah.
and they go through DNA diagnostics, and they go, Mr. Whatever. In the case of little Roderick,
Pharrell Jackson, you are not the father.
because the bloodline and everything didn't match. The DNA didn't match. Plain.
Did y'all see that video of that two African couples? It's a two people from Africa, and they had a little white baby with blonde hair. And I'm seeing that a few times. There's another lady that's really popular on TikTok, and she has this little white baby with blonde hair. Looks like a little white girl, but she gave birth to her. Uh, and I was like, wow. When stuff like that happens, you need to question your husband. He might be half angel, or he got angel blood in him, because angel blood is dominant. It'll overpower everything else, even melanin.
Simple. So they can track back every descendant from you, grandkids, great grandkids, all the way back, shares that genetic code. It can't be alleviated. It can be spliced. It can be a little different, but it's going to be there. There are several personality traits that are associated with Rh negative carriers, including supposedly they have an average IQ, they have a lower body temperature, sensitive to vision, and higher blood pressure. I know that my children's mother has high blood pressure, but or it could be this factor because she's Rh negative. Her blood builds up antibodies to destroy an alien substance. In the same way,
I have high blood pressure, and I do everything. I have to meditate to even get it to go lower, but most of the time it stays pretty high. And I'm like, where's it coming from? I've also heard that I think the white uh, Rh negative people have really low blood pressure. But I'm starting to think that, yeah, it's a natural thing for Rh negative people who are of darker skin. And I'm always attracting those people too, which is really weird because for it to be so rare, a lot of my close friends are Rh negative and my sister. So maybe we're giving off a vibration and attracting each other. I don't know. But that's an interesting. If you're Rh negative, what's your blood pressure? You don't have to put your health stuff out there. You could tell me later.
will the virus therefore destroy the infant? See, this is the thing that happens when a woman in Rh negative blood will be able to carry a child from a man with Rh positive blood. If they do, they get something called, and that means her blood builds up that antivirus, and the body is going to destroy it. It's going to see that baby as a virus, and
I told you.
it's going to try to destroy it. And that's when they give you what they give. And so the alien origins theory have been fueled by the fact that Rh negative women have a difficult time delivering a child who is Rh positive, and under circumstances, the mother's body would try to kill the child she's bearing. If you want to support the show, if you say I want Rh negative, Rh negative,
Why the
whatever,
big
an
secret
email
cash
address.
out?
If you want me to send you out a copy of this thing, I will. Just cash out contribution and make sure you put your email address and also RH, because we've done it before and sometimes people still send from the last show. So this time I know RH, whatever, negative
If y'all want that
email
document
address. Let's get down
that he's
to
reading.
the benefits. Like I said before, we're going to talk about some of the benefits real quick. We're going to roll through this, the benefits of RH negatively. And I've seen this on a lot of YouTube videos. You can go look it up, that they're less likely to get HIV and AIDS. So you would think, why wouldn't an
I'm
RH
negative.
negative person be not acceptable to a deadly virus of HIV
Because
and
we
AIDS?
fight.
Well, you're talking if it's evolution.
And another thing, I don't get sick. I mean, like I got the sniffles right now, but that's not sick. My nose is just stuffed up. But um, like never. And my mom could ask my mama. No, I really never had a day where I'm just like I'm just all sick and stuff. Perfect attendance in school because I just didn't have a sick day. Um, I don't, never been sick. Never been like deathly sick. Like when I see people and they're like, "Oh, God, pray for me," I'm like, okay. Like I don't understand this flu thing that people get. Never had it.
Than if it's extraterrestrial bloodline, which stands back to thousands of
Now I
years.
can feel when something's in my body. I can feel when my body's fighting something. Like right now, my nose is stuffed up. Usually means like my body's like trying to get rid of something. Like I'll cough up a phlegm. It's just really gross. Why am I talking about this?
Then you might then want to say, okay, now I have a document, not a document, but a slide here. Now I'm gonna put this on the screen so you can see it in just a moment. And what this is a lineage of people that are Rh negative, and they say that they could have some connection.
Maybe I should run for
So I'm
president.
gonna go over this real quickly before we get any further to kind of show you what's happening. So on the screen, we have George W. Bush in the middle. So that's when this was made. Obama, which is to the right top, is supposed to be 11th generation cousins to George Bush. Dick Cheney, they're eighth cousins. Marilyn Monroe is the ninth cousin. So they all these people track their bloodlines back.
Tenth
The
cousin.
guy with Firestone, which is to the right there, 11th, 10th
11.
cousins. And some of these people are related
But I mean, come on. I mean, if we go back far enough, I mean, aren't we all kind of related?
by marriage, which was Diana. Okay. You have 12 cousins removed. You got all over John Senator
Fourth
Kerry,
cousins, four
Hugh
times removed.
Hefner, Tom
Lord
Hanks,
have mercy.
Pocahontas, Abraham Lincoln, Madonna.
And what does removed mean? Like four times removed. Like, I don't get it. Like when they talk about hey, two times removed. Look at this. What does that mean? Someone put that in the comments because I really don't know.
See, so all these people, one is 32 generations removed, which is the Dracula guy from George Bush lineage.
Track.
And they're going to talk about some stuff on that as well. So I'm just putting that up there to kind of give you some references of look it up. It's called the Royal Bloodline. So you want to go look that up yourself. Look up the Royal Bloodline, and then you'll be able to find those things out.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
All right. So another part of this is O negative women least likely to develop type 2 diabetes.
Oh.
So they're saying that if they're O negative, they're least likely to develop type 2 diabetes, meaning, so I would definitely
Eat
want
as
to
much
see
sugar as
someone,
you want.
I am type 2, that is maybe my size, if they think it's linked to obesity, and then
I
they
don't
want
even
to
like
say,
sugar.
and they find out this person don't even have diabetes.
Oh.
That will be something, because most of us think it's linked to obesity, even though I know people that have it.
Well,
Rh negative is resistant to Ebola. Now we know Ebola
Well,
is a crazy
I've never had
virus
Ebola.
that you stay away from, but supposedly people with this Rh
Don't want
negative
it.
could survive it.
I guess I could go to
And they're
Africa.
also saying that Rh negative seem to be less likely allergic to dairy products.
Oh, I can't. I can't
All
do
right,
dairy.
so let's get into what we call the
Can't do
advanced
dairy. I'm
DNA of
lactose.
science that no longer covers us up. All right, each scientific advancement that they have reveals a true alien involvement in our planet. They've been finding it out for quite some time. In fact, there's a town that I found on the internet. That whole town is Rh negative. The whole town. For some
The
reason, they're
whole
all
town.
clustered at this town, and there's something
Oh,
to really look
the
at and
Basque
see.
people. Yeah.
Now they're saying that humans
Maybe I should go. Where is it? Basque. I think it's in. Is it Italy? The Basque people. Anyways, I don't know. Like everybody's RH negative. I maybe I should go. I'm gonna put that on my list of places to go. I want to see what these people are like.
we generally believe that we evolved from apes, but the Rh factor is our blood. And we'll talk about women with this, and we're going to use this because they talk about how these people are being tracked, and they're just so much out there when it comes to this. And
Track.
I'll answer some questions, or we'll put some stuff up on the chat here in a few minutes as well. We'll get everybody involved. But they're also saying that antigens are molecules that produce the immune system. So when a foreign substance or toxins enter our system, the antigens tell our bodies to
Get rid
attack.
of it.
Now, with the Rh system, there are 61 antigens. With D antigen, determine whether we're Rh positive or Rh negative. And this antigen is sensitive to protein that exists on the surface of red blood cells, will react negatively if it comes intact with Rh positive blood. So let's give this down into the point. And like I said, if you want a copy of this, 80 pages, we'll go over the next 3 days. It is a good read. You're welcome to make a donation to the show, put RH in your email address, and I'll make sure we'll email it to you. All right. So if a woman with Rh negative blood becomes pregnant with an Rh positive baby, her body will produce antigens signaling to her immune system that her fetus is essentially toxic.
Hmm.
A strange as it may seem, the woman's body will kill its own fetus unless given a rare antibody known as. And some believe that the Rh negative blood is simply a
Did
mutation
it skip?
that come about some unknown time in our evolution. And that's what some of the scientists was talking about at quite some time. They were saying that they can trace most of our bloodlines back, but they could not trace the Rh negative bloodline. And when they kept going back, it was coming up extraterrestrial.
Because
And
it
this
is.
was in the scientific community for quite some time. And see, that makes you wonder when we start thinking about looking for the truth that they already know.
They know.
The big secret keepers already know this stuff. They've been knowing this for quite some time, but yet
You
it's
don't know.
another cover up.
Damn right.
If it is, and I'm not talking about covering up of people who could possess this blood type, but the origins of the blood type, which then will reveal that there's extraterrestrials out there, most likely. They don't want to let that out because they want to keep all these secrets. And that, once again, is one of the things that we want to discuss at all time. We truth seekers, we want the truth. We got to have
We
it.
want the truth.
Now, that'll be great part of disclosure. Other than disclosure, where we want to know if spacecrafts are flying around or UFOs are real, all of those things. It will be more once we figure out the fact that we have other things that will point out to the point that extraterrestrials.
The bloodline of Inky. Because Inky was fucking around with the humans. End up having kids. Inky blood. The children of Inky.
Exist, and that's blood type. And I know one of my questions, and maybe somebody can answer it that I've always had, and that is what I explained earlier was that, okay, so if we got parents and our parents don't look like aliens, how do I come out with this blood type? Well, just like anything else in genetics, you could literally, I used to breed dogs, pit bulls, or raise them and bred them together, not me. And in the pit bull world, because the genes are so crossed, with terriers and all of this over the years. They just mixed it with so much.
Yeah, pit bulls.
True story. You could, and people used to love it back in the day, a all white pit bull. I mean, that was just clean. And then you spend extra money getting it because he's solid white. Everybody used to love it. It was just a good look for the dog. And then you find somebody else got a puppy that's all white, a male, and you got an all white female, and you're like, I'm going to make that freaking money. Unlike any other breeds, except some of the others, you can breed two solid white pit bulls together. And when that litter is born, you can have black, you can have tan, brindle colors, you can have anything but white. And you're sitting there saying to yourself, the mama is white, the daddy is a white dog. How come I don't have all white puppies? That's the genetics.
Recessive gene.
And then all of a sudden, 3 generations down, one of those dogs have an all white litter. But it's the bloodline from the parents that are 4 generations up.
Mm.
It just activated itself. So it's possible for you to have Rh negative blood, and then your parents has this, and the grandparents, but then you're a descendant from somewhere way back in this lineage that activated that DNA. It was always there. It just somehow it was profound with the two wherever it crossed.
Genetics
I'm
kind of
not a
work
scientist. You
differently.
can go check that part out yourself. And
It's just recessive genes. Uh, the white is a recessive gene, and just because you put two whites together doesn't mean that they're gonna have white puppies. It's a very small chance that because the two recessive genes can get together, but if they're hybrid whites, then they can still have dark puppies of other colors because those are dominant genes. So black hair is dominant. Blonde or red hair is recessive. So you have to have two parents with two recessive genes for you to have red hair or blonde hair. But it can happen. It can happen in black folks. We seen it.
not just females, there's males out there that are Rh negative as well.
Duh.
And I don't know the deal if two Rh negative people got together and what would they produce. I
Uh,
don't know
Rh negative.
yet.
You don't have a clue, do you?
Yeah, that I don't know. Now, what they're saying is, could this actually be a mechanism to protect the alien or alien hybrid bloodline from being altered or being watered down? This takes us into this point. This is why we have hybrids. They're here. They're here because they are trying to make sure. And let me give you a point. There is probably several types of alien races, and we're going to go over that next week. I have some information that has a lot of alien races, and within all these races, they all have different purposes. Some live for a couple of 100 years. Some live, and they did say a long time ago that we were tampered with. But what people don't realize is that all of these extraterrestrials come from all of these other places. And so Earth is a kind of a garden planet. It's why it's called a blue planet. Nothing like anything else out there that we know of. This is why we have all these things growing here, all this beautiful whatever. But they test them. They come, they pick up things, they take people other places, other
Oh, it's a farm.
planets and civilizations. But the origin of everything is the fact that we are new, is what I'm trying to say. Humans are not have not been around as long as some of these other things. Now, no
Duh.
one has tried to explain where the Rh negative people come from, but most familiar with blood factors admit that these people must at least be a mutation, if not descendants of
I'm an X-Man. I'm a mutant. Maybe so.
a different ancestor. So what we do know is, if we're not going to tie anybody with Rh negative, if we're not going to tie them to aliens, well, where do we tie them to? Because nobody knows the ancestral line. So I guess we can tag it. Aliens could be something else.
I'm an
Nobody
alien.
knows. If you were a mutation, you want to ask the question: what caused the mutation? Who was the ancestors of these people? Make
All you doing is asking questions, and the video's almost over. I done gave more answers than he done. He just keeps asking questions. Listen, Anunnaki, look it up. Inky, think he was fucking around, had some kids. Boom. Here you go, mankind.
Sure you like and share
Noah,
this video.
he's done. He ain't got nothing to talk about. I mean, you could go. I support him. I love the questions. Uh, go ahead and grab his document. Probably gonna just tell you the same stuff I told you. We need to talk about this more. RH negative. If you are RH negative, what questions do you have? Come on, y'all. This is a new age. We're about to move into the age of Aquarius. RH negative people, let's speak up. I know a lot of times people think, it's just white people. It's not just white people. It's just not redheads. There's a lot of RH negative. I always meet RH negative people. I don't know why. I met them all types of colors. But one thing I find in common, a lot of them have spiritual gifts, spiritual abilities, or just a knowing, or just um, a very attractive sexual energy for those that aren't really super spiritual. They have a very, it's still, when I say sexuality and spirituality go hand in hand, it's true. Like the ones that are not super spiritual are very nah, I won't say super sexual. I won't call them hoes or nothing, but they have a seduction energy. Even I do. Look at myself. Just kidding. But no, not really. But no, they have like something about them that attracts people. One of my close homegirls, RH negative, man, she could look at a guy and boom, he'll come over. So I mean, you could say most girls do, but she has a little something that I'm like, you're doing that thing again. I can tell when she's doing it. Anyways, if you guys are RH negative, let me know or any comments. Let's get the conversation started. I'll comment you back and let's talk about it. RH negative. And remember, make your reality happen because if you don't do it, then who will? Talk to you guys later.